Good morning. You are most welcome to class 7th A. So let's start the first lesson. Which book? Who can say? Man book. Yes. What is that? Yes. Honeycomb. The first lesson is 3 questions. Not 2 questions or 1 question. What is the lesson? 3 questions. Not the 3 questions. This lesson was written by a famous modern Russian short story writer. He was none other than Leo Tolstoy. He was born on 9th September 1828 and died on 20th November 1910. The story is very exciting, motivating, and also it creates curiosity among readers to know what is going to happen next. It has also suspense. The story is written in very short and simple language. I don't believe there is any hard word for you. If at all, you can consult your dictionary and note down in your notebook. No need of purchasing new notebooks now, as it is not possible. And so old notebooks you can use. So 3 questions. So the story goes on like this. Once upon a time there was a king. As we the people, we have our ambition. Similarly, like other kings, this king, he had also his high ambition. He wanted to be very popular, he wanted to be very famous and also successful. He wanted to be praised by his subjects. If he knew 3 answers to his 3 important questions, these 3 questions are very important, so also the answers. If you understand the 3 questions and understand the 3 answers, then the lesson is over. So the first question is, what is the right time to begin something? I repeat, what is the right time to begin something? Then second question is, which people should the king listen to? Which people should the king listen to? And the third one is, what is the most important thing for the king to do? What is the most important thing for the king to do? And in order to know these answers, he sent messengers throughout his kingdom, promising a large sum of money to the people who would give him satisfactory answer. So many wise men came to the king, but their answers were very different. That's why the king was in puzzle, confusion and also dilemma, didn't know which one is correct, which one is incorrect. That's why whatever the answers given by them. So far as the first question is concerned, that is, which people should, what is the right time to begin something? Some people, the wise men said, the king must have a timetable and then follow it strictly. Only in this way he could do something at a proper time. Others said that it was impossible to decide in advance the right time. Then who could do? How is it possible? The king should notice all that was going on and avoid the unimportant, irrelevant, foolish pleasures. And he should do whatever seemed necessary at that time. Yet other wise men said that the king needed a council of wise men who would help him act on time. This was because one man would find it impossible to decide correctly without help from others the right time for every action. But then others said that there was something which would be urgent, most important. These things could not wait for the decision of the council. In order to decide the right time for doing something, it is necessary to look into the future. And only magicians were the right persons who could advise the king of that. So magicians were most important. He should consult them. Then come to you see the number of answers, but the king was in confusion. Which answer is correct? He was in a dilemma. Second question, which people should the king listen to? in the answers to the second question, some said that the people most necessary to the king were the counselors. Others said, no, not counselors, priests, and few others even chose the doctors. And yet others said that his soldiers were the most necessary people he should listen to. The third question is, what is the important? Again I repeat, what is the most important thing for the king to do? So to the third question, some said science, others said fighting, and some others even suggested religious worship. And the answers to the questions were different. The king was not satisfied. If we were also in the place of the king, we were in confusion, we would not be satisfied. So what did the king do? The king was also wise. The king decided to seek the advice of a certain hermit. One hermit who was widely known, who was very popular for his wisdom. The hermit was living in a wood which he never left. He saw no one but only the simple people. As the king belonged to a... So students, the hermit lived in a wood. Whom did he encourage or entertain? Only the simple people. How could the king visit him? The king belonged to a royal family, no. So he was disguised as a simple man. So before he reached the hermit's hut, the king left his horse with his bodyguard and went on alone, on foot. As the king came near the hermit's hut, what did he see? He saw the hermit digging the ground in front of his hut. He greeted the king and continued digging. The hermit was an old and weak, and as he worked, he breathed heavily. The king went up to the hermit and said, I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer 3 questions. How can I learn to do the right thing at the right time? Who are the people I need most, and what affairs are the most important? The hermit listened to the king but did not speak, didn't utter a single word. He went on his work, digging. You are tired, said the king. Let me take the spade and work in your place. Thanks. Then he sat down on the ground. Who said thanks? Yes, the hermit. When the king had dug 2 beds, he stopped and repeated his questions. The hermit gave no answer, but stood up, stretching out his hand for the spade, and said, Now you rest and let me work. But the king did not give him the spade and continued to dig. 1 hour passed, then another hour passed. The sun was going down behind the tree. Sunset, dusk. And at last the king stuck the spade into the ground and said, I came to you, wise man, for an answer to my questions. You can give me no answer. If you can give me no answer, tell me so that I will return home. Here comes someone running, said the hermit. This is about part 1. Some questions are there. Why did the king want to know the answer to the 3 questions? Very easy questions, you can know the answer. Messengers were sent throughout the kingdom. What for? To announce a reward for those who could answer to the questions. So second part. The king turned round and saw a bearded man, bearded past participle, a bearded man running towards them. Who is them? Yes, the king and the hermit. His hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was flowing. When he reached the king, he fainted and fell to the ground. The king and the hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound in his stomach. The king washed and covered it with his handkerchief, but the blood would not stop flowing. The king redressed, dressed again and again the wound until at last the bleeding stopped. The man felt better and asked for something to drink. The king brought fresh water, gave it to him. By this time the sun had set and the air was cool. The king, with the hermit's help, carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him onto the bed. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet. The king, tired by his work and the work he had done, lay down on the floor and slept through the night. When he awoke, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was or who the strange bearded man lying on the bed was. You see, was. That is assertive sentence. Forgive me, said the bearded man. Whom did he say? To the king. When did he say? In the morning. I do not know you and have nothing to forgive you for, said the king, because the king could not recognize the bearded man. You do not know me, sir, but I know you. I am that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you because you put my brother to death and seized my property. I knew you had gone alone to see the hermit, and I made up my mind. I determined to kill you on your way back. But man proposes, God disposes. But the day passed and he did not return. So I left my hiding place and came up to your bodyguard, who recognized me and wounded me. I escaped from him, but I should have died if you had not dressed my wounds. I wished to kill you, and you have saved my life. Now, if I live, I will serve you as your most faithful servant, and will order my sons to do the same. Forgive me, sir. The king was very happy to have made peace with his enemy so easily, and to have won him over as a friend, from the enemy foe to friend. He not only forgave him and said he would send his servants and his own doctors to look after him, and he promised to give back the man his property, seized property. Leaving the wounded man, the king went out of the hut and looked around for the hermit. Before going away, he wished once more to get answer to his 3 questions. The king has not forgotten his questions. The hermit was on his knees sowing seeds into the beds, and that had been dug the day before. The previous day, the king went up to the hermit and said, "For the last time, I beg you to answer me 3 questions, O wise man." "You have already been answered." "Who said?" The hermit said, still bending down to the ground and looking at the king as he stood before him. "How have I been answered? What do you mean?" "Don't you see?" replied the hermit. "If you had not pitied, sympathized, showed mercy, my kindness, my weakness yesterday, and had not dug these beds for me, you would have gone away. Then that man would have attacked you and wished you had stayed with me. So the most important time when you were digging the beds, and I was the most important man, and to do me good was your most important business. Afterwards, when the man ran to us, the most important time was when you were caring for him. Because if you had not dressed his wounds, he would have died without having made peace with you. So he was the most important man, and what you did for him was your most important business, and when you looked after him, that was the most important time. Remember that. There is only one time that is important, that is now. Now means present. So act in the living present. Don't believe that is the past, because the past is dead and gone. You learn from your past. Never believe the future, because future is uncertain. It is not in our hands. What is in our hands? Present. Whatever you do, that is at the present time only. It is the most important time because it is the only time when we have any power to act. The most necessary person is the person you are with at that particular moment. For no one knows what will happen to us in the future. And whether we will meet anyone else, the most important business is to do the person good, the person who was available with you at that particular time, because we were sent into this world, this terrestrial world, mundane world, for the purpose of alone. We have to help each other, our neighbors, because God is the creator. He has created everybody, like from a lily flower to the elephant, to the human beings, the animals. So God will be happy if we live happily, comfortably, coexist, helping each other. So, what to learn from this? That's important, the moral, because the purpose of reading the story, you should learn the values inherent in it. What values you inculcate? In the story, 3 questions, Leo Tolstoy explores the theme of wisdom. Yes, 1 minute. Theme of wisdom. The hermit was wise, wisdom. Then acceptance. Acceptance. Then kindness. Then forgiveness. These are the 4 values. Wisdom, first, second acceptance. The king accepted his enemy, bearded man, kindness. Not only the king but also hermit, the very kind enough to the bearded wounded man. Forgiveness, the king forgave the wounded man. So the story explores the theme of wisdom, acceptance, kindness and forgiveness. By helping the wounded man and by spending time with the hermit, he gets to know the answer to his 3 questions. If he would have left without getting the answer from the from the hermit, that evening, then he would have been killed by his enemy, the bearded man. So time is most important. Have answer to his 3 questions, which he got through self-realization. The king self-realized. He learned to do good to others. Others here, that is hermit also he helped, and also the bearded wounded man, without thinking about oneself. So one should be selfless, not selfish. So then you just note down this moral, right? In the story, I am writing, in the story, 3 questions. The 20th century Russian short story writer Leo Tolstoy explores the theme of wisdom, acceptance, kindness and forgiveness. By helping the wounded man, and by spending time with his hermit, the king gets to know the answer. The king gets to know the answer to his 3 questions, which he got through self-realization. He learned to do good to others. Without thinking about oneself. So inculcation of vocabulary, enhancing vocabulary, so whatever new words you come across, note down in your copy and collect the meaning from the dictionary. So homework, yes. Only 4-5 questions I am going to give you today. What idea, note down, question number 1. What idea came to the king one day? What idea came to the king one day? Okay. Second question. Why did the king go to the hermit in the jungle? Why did the king go to the hermit in the jungle? Question 3. How did the king go to the jungle? How did the king go to jungle? How did the king pass the time at the hermitage? Where the hermit lives, hermitage. What did the king do, or how did the king pass his time at the hermitage? Question 4. What made the bearded man? What made the bearded man change his attitude? What made the bearded man change his attitude towards the king? The bearded man realized, repented, because of the king, who was very generous, very kind. Last question. How was the time when the king was digging the beds? How was the time when the king was digging the beds? The most important time for him. More important time for him. Then, one page, diary page. Imagine that you are the king. Imagine that you are the king. Write a page in your diary. Write a page in your diary in about 120 words.